morning, everyone. We just got done taking our half-hour break here. Oh, we're about not too far from Clinton. If you're to look for Clinton, Montana, here on Interstate 90, it's time to get back to work. We're going to stop in Missoula. We're going to top our tanks off and head over to Washington. Let's go. There was a time that I used to go past this one back when we had pre-pass, but now that we are drive-wise, I don't think I've gotten to drive past this one at all. Almost out of Montana. I'm not exactly sure why they got it going both ways, but oh well. It is what it is, as they would say. get out of here. 10 miles to Lookout. That's all the farther we have left in this state of Montana. So I don't understand why they have a scale leaving. I get it coming in, but alright, well, let's get back to work. Afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Idaho. Thought I'd slow down and take in the sights. I don't stop here often. I love this view. I believe that's a cooling pond for the silver mines that are here in Mullen, Idaho, Milan. But absolute beautiful valley. We're having a great day. Woo! No real echo. Yep. Look at the bends in those trees, bending upward to the sun. They go straight out and then straight up. Wow. Kind of uniquely different. But this is Idaho. We're on the top of Lookout. Just thought I'd pop in. Check out the view. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you, Idaho. All right, everyone. Well, time to get back to work, get down the mountain. Let's see if we can get, let's get into Washington. Just thought I'd toss in something a little bit different this time. I haven't showed this view for a while. I have in the past, but it was a long while ago. Good afternoon, everyone. How are we doing today? As you can see, our day is complete. We are done. 730 miles on the day, not too bad. Had relatively good weather. It's reading about 87, 88 degrees here. Here at the location that they call Lind, even though I don't see the town of Lind. I think it's back over that way personally. I think it's just a zip code thing. Hey, goofy question to ask you guys. Been getting into some conversations lately with a few different guys, you know, when I was out in Colorado and personally on what do we do as a people group, not one group, not one political group over another, but as a people group, you know, with all of this homeless and people living on the street, living in tents, and you know, the government paying for it. Well, we're paying for it because, let's face it, the government doesn't pay for squat. If the government's paying for it, you and I that pay the taxes on our payroll every week or every other week or whenever we pay our taxes, we're the ones that funding it. But I get into a little bit of trouble, a little scuffle with it because there used to be this thing many years ago called a vagrancy law, but they also had programs that would train you if you were laid off, whatever, couldn't go back to work. Like in my situation, I did construction for a decade, and when the economy crashed back in 2007 into 08, the market just basically dried up. So I went through the unemployment, and they paid for me to go back to school and get an education, which at my age, I wasn't about to go back to school, actual school. So I decided that I'd go get my CDL. Well, they paid for my schooling to get me my CDL. And in turn, I now have a career, and the money, which I believe was around $3,500, they vested at the school that I went to. They've more than got their $3,500 back out of me for all the work that I've put in since 2008. So I don't understand why we can't have programs where we train them instead of just paying them to be a lump on the sidewalk somewhere. Help give people self-worth again and train them to move into a new career, you know, whatever they may be adapted to or could learn. But that's just my own opinion. Lazy's not a condition, it's a choice. And I say that because when I was laid off, that whole process took about 9 months, and there was times that I didn't want to get off my couch. I was just kind of dejected, deflated, keep going to the library because I didn't have a computer at my house, so I'd have to go to the community library and get online and try to find work because, well, they stopped doing the classifieds where, you know, so it's just a little bit different than what I was used to. But through that 9 months, I went through different stages of emotions where it's like, screw it, I'm not getting off the couch. It's not worth it. But, you know, you persevere, you push through. I have a lovely wife at home that, you know, kind of is hoping for me to be the, you know, man that I was made to be a good provider. So I had to, as they would say, suck it up, buttercup. So I have a hard time accepting, and then they started talking about the mental, there's some people that are mentally unstable, well, which is true. But if they're mentally unstable, you don't ignore them. You don't put them on a tent on a street corner somewhere. Back in the day, I don't know if they still do today, but they used to have mental institutions where someone could go get mental help, not stigmatized, but help. And I know some of the comments are going to be, some of those mental clinics were bad. Yes, that's the human condition. That doesn't mean that you just throw out the baby with the bathwater. Okay, just saying. You reform the hospital system, the mental health care system, to where they don't take advantage of certain people that are in straits like that. So I believe there's a way to do it. I don't believe the way that's I'm looking at and seeing, because now that I'm out here in Washington, I know tomorrow is going to be a day full of seeing people intense, having the most amount of trash all over the place. I don't know where they're getting this stuff to make all this amount of trash, but I guess if you're living in a tent, you got nowhere to throw it away. So I guess it just sits right wherever it is you're at. So I don't know. Let me know what you think. We're gonna roll this day up. We're gonna walk back down to the truck. We got dinner cooking. I'm not railing on anybody, and it's not a political thing. It's more of a human thing. I just feel like abandoning people, and or giving them their drugs, or whatever their vice is. That's not helpful. I've talked to individuals that I personally know that have seen the streets of San Francisco, and they're disgusting. That's not a civil society. Just my own 2 cents worth. It's not a Republican thing. It's not a Democrat thing. It's a human thing. Just take care of people. Train them. And if they're just flat out, that's the problem when you point out people that are just flat out lazy, won't take the help, there's a difference between a hand up and a handout. I'm all for a hand up. I am not about a hand out, meaning they're just a leech on society. Those folks I don't have the time of day for, because they're part of the problem. They're not part of the solution. So that's my rant of the day. I'm sure I'll get some hate on this, but you know what? Join the conversation. On that, God bless. I love you guys. Lord willing, I'll see y'all tomorrow. I want to add an addendum for those of you that might think I'm being a little harsh with folks that are kind of down on their luck. At some point in time, most of us have been down on our luck. There's been a time in my life that I've slept on park benches. I've slept in back seats of friends' cars. I've eaten out of dumpsters back in the late 80s, mid 80s, no, not late 80s, mid 80s. Before they got to the compactors, I was eating out of dumpsters. So, plus the fact that my old man, before he passed away when I was 10, was missing a leg, had it shot off in a hunting accident back when he was, best recollection, somewhere between 14 to 16 years of age. He was out hunting with his family. Somebody else out in the woods, he set his rifle down on the other side of the fence so he could climb over safely. Well, somebody heard the fence rustling, and through the woods they just took a shot and, well, basically shot his leg clean off. Well, almost clean off. It was hanging by just a little bit from what the account he was telling me. And I watched him work a full-time job, plus, at least 3 side jobs, where he would come home in the evening. That stump would be a bloody pussy mess, just from standing on his feet all day. at a engineering place. He used to wire generators for back in the day, the rockets, you know, the Apollos, all the different Apollos. The company that he worked for used to wire all the, basically, if you know the inside of a starter, how it's got the coil pack that goes all the way around, that's kind of what these generators look like, but they're massive in size. And he would stand on his feet or his foot and his wooden leg. He'd stand there in a sweatshop pounding those copper cables in each row and doing whatever it was that he did. Doing that, I've got photos of that. I'd have to find them, but I've got photos of him standing there pounding these copper cables in. But then he'd come home, he'd rototill neighbors' gardens, or he would hand shovel at the grain elevator in town, you know. Plus, my brother and I used to deliver newspaper. We had it was called a Home Magazine, and it would be delivered once a week. I believe it was Tuesdays, if memory serves me right. Well, my dad was a courier that would deliver all those papers to all the people that were doing the routes. So yeah. And I never heard my dad ever complain, never looked for a handout. I remember one situation where somebody thought he was handicapped. He goes, "You call me handicapped again, I'll take this leg off, I'll beat you over the head with it." So that was pretty impressionable to a 7, 8, and 9. My dad passed when I was 10, so that was pretty impressionable on my informative years. So work is bred in. It's choice. Lazy is a choice. Sometimes you just got to push through. Trust me, I can be just as lazy as the best of them. When I get home at the end of the week from running out here, quite frankly, I don't feel like doing a dang thing on Saturday. I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to visit nobody. All I want to do is sit in my easy chair on my end of the couch and hang out with my boys. So just wanted to throw that in there. So you don't think I'm just coming off a left field with a silver spoon in my mouth. I'm not by a long shot. So, but on that, as always, God bless. Love you guys. Lord willing, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Tomorrow's a work day. Tomorrow we deliver. Tomorrow we pick up. Love you guys.